So here we're going to show you how to come from an ebook or a word processed document that you've made and make that into a beautiful printed copy. I have a color printer like this one here. This is the Epson EcoTank. EcoTank means you don't have to buy cartridges like crazy, but it can print pretty much thousands of pages, and you just refill these bottles from time to time, probably once every 1 or 2 years. And so it's very economic to print with it. And then the printer can also print duplex. That means it will print on both sides of the paper, back and front. So we're going to show how that works. The first thing we need to print is the cover of the book. So here you need to have some sort of graphic software. That could be either Windows Paint or pretty much any graphic software. And the idea there is you're basically using an 8.5 by 11 sheet like this here. And you have to design it that the front is shown here on this on this side, basically on that side of the paper is the front, and then the back of the page is on the other side in your graphic software. So you basically split the landscape page into 2 parts exactly in the middle, and then you use your graphic to design this side, and that needs to be printed. So what I found is if you print that on double-sided ultra glossy paper, there's this brand here that makes the 0.4 millimeter thick. The 0.4 millimeter thick paper, I found this one works just fantastically well because it's really glossy, it's very nice, it's fairly strong, it's like carton type of stuff, 0.4 millimeter thick. And if you print your cover page on that, that will look really, really good. Let's set this up here right now. So in the print settings, you have to set this up that it prints. Let's quickly go over this right now. Print, so far so good. Then we say we print the current page. On one page it had both sides. We're going to say here we set the options in the printer. Okay. Automatic fit. Here then we can specify the Epson printer settings. And there we need to specify that this goes on to letter size. That's good. And it needs to go on to landscape, I guess. I think this is landscape. I'm not sure now. So here we're going to set ultra premium photo paper, which is what we have. Then we say borderless printing so that it fills the entire page, border by border. And we only print one-sided printing, of course, only the front side. And then I think that should be good enough. Let's give that a spin. Comes out through into the rear feeder of the printer. And there we go. Print. Ta-da! All right. Now the next thing to print is, of course, the individual pages. Plenty of pages. And here's the settings that I found that work particularly well. So I'm using the LibreOffice Writer, but the Microsoft Word kind of works fairly similar. The first thing that you need to do is you need to set up your writing software with a page size. Let's set that up here. And you see that we have a bit of a crazy setting. We basically are saying, well, the sheets are 11 inches wide, 8.5 by 11, right? It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet there. And so we say, no, we print on that thing sideways. So then that means the 11 inches width gets divided by 1/2. So the width of the actual sheet is only 5.5 inches. Now the height is not 11, but the height is 8.5. So we're basically measuring exactly this page here, and that's what we are entering. I found that these are good settings for margins, 0.15 inches to the left and to the right. And at the top, we don't waste a lot of space. I just give that 0.1 inches in both directions. So these are the settings that we have to use for the page. Then you can start going forward with entering all your pages in a document. And so that should just be page after page after page. Here we can see if we reduce them. So these are all the pages, for example, in my book. Oops, are these all the pages? No, it's not quite. So it's a lot of pages. That will be a lot of typing, and you can use voice recognition or whatever you want to do. I like to put a lot of pictures in as well, because it increases the quality of the book. It's easier to read if there's pictures in there, plenty. And with today's color printers, it doesn't cost a lot of money to print color. So here's your book. Now the next trick is, so yeah, that will be a lot of typing. And that's what you have to do. But okay, good. So there we go. Now the next thing is, how do we print this, right? Because this is obviously a lot of pages. And to print this now consists of two tricks. In LibreOffice, we cannot print directly into a booklet, but it doesn't have that choice. But instead, what we do is we take the file here, and I use the Microsoft Print to PDF choice, and I make a PDF file out of that. So basically, this goes into a PDF file that has the same measurements that we made, 5.5 wide, 8.5 tall, and then I generate a PDF by doing that. And of course, printing the odd and the even pages all in one big wash, 67 pages in case of my book. Click the print button, and it generates the file. Now then you can open that PDF file with a PDF reader, some sort of sophisticated one. Here I'm using the free Foxit reader. And so now we have the entire book as a PDF, again with 8.5 tall by 5.5 wide. And so every page is in here now. Good. And from here then, I can print with a special setting that is called, let's try that out here, print. Ah, yeah. So that now takes me into a special print settings here. I'm going to say we're going to print. In this case, I'm going to only print from page 2 until 68. Good. And there is a setting called Booklet setting. That's really what we want to do, because we want the first page to appear here like this. Then the next page will be like so. Oh, that's actually funny. We're going to change this around a little bit. Let's say we're just going to print until page 67. Good. And you can see basically that the first page matches up with the last page and so on, because if you print a stash of pages like this here, they have to all kind of match together, right? So this here is, let's say, the first page. That has to be here. On the back of that is page 3. And then if you look around, on the very same piece of paper, the last page has to be at the end. So you're kind of putting these pages together. And the booklet printing means that the printer will have to kind of jumble these pages together in such a way that when you have one stash of paper, you can just staple it together. And when you fold it, it's going to be one book. And you don't have to sort the pages individually. So here we're saying, great, this is going to be booklet printing. Good. Then we specify the margin here one more time, 0.3 inches, so that there is a bit of space for paper cutting at the left and the right side. And then the next thing is again printer settings here on the Epson. This time we're going to say letter size again, very good. And this goes on plain paper now. We're going to print it in color, and this will be dual-sided printing. We're going to flip it like this here, and we are saying, I don't know what this means. We are saying, yeah, we definitely want to print this like that. That's good. So portrait, we don't need to do the borderless setting at this point. That will not work. The borderless setting does not go with the duplex printing. And then the next thing is, I think these are all the settings that we use. Oh, I actually found it. If I use Vivid, the colors come out slightly better on plain paper. So here we say, okay. So far, so good. And now let's have the adventure begin. So actually here, just make sure. Yeah, it starts here. Next set of pages. So you can see it kind of puts odd and even pages together in some crazy lineup. And we're going to click on OK now. Hop. And that goes off to the printer. Okay, I'm not keeping you waiting. I waited until the whole printer finished now, and we got a nice set of stuff now. So here is the page that is the cover page for the thing. So beautiful on glossy carton. It's borderless, and so it just needs to be folded together. And then here we have the stash of the actual pages. And so they are already perfectly sorted because it printed this stuff in a duplex. So they are on both sides of the paper. And so this stuff needs to be folded like this then. So we need to fold it together like that. And I'm going to show how to do that right next. So the printer has just finished printing our masterpiece. We have 64 pages. That turns into 17 sheets because they are printed on both sides, like so. And then we have, of course, our beautiful cover page. And that's on the 4mm paper. Now, I found that if I use a knife like this, which has kind of a shaped form here, a bit sharp, that works really well in adjusting, in creating nice sharp creases. So let's try that here. So we have to fold this very precisely, that it goes exactly from end to end, like this here. It needs to be exactly lined up. So, then pressing it down. And we're going to sharpen the crease by using the knife handle. Like this here. So far, so good. All right. That's a very sharp matching crease, exactly in the middle. Now we do the same with the paper. So the trick here is you kind of have to fold it so that, I mean, these sheets are all lined up. So this is page 1, and then it folds up like this here. You kind of have to make sure that these things go symmetric. So let's try that here. We're going to put them together like this here. A nice symmetric bunch. Good. One could probably use some clamps. That might make it a bit safer even. But for now, let's just give that a spin. So basically carefully folding it down like so. And then again, this knife does a pretty good job in increasing the strength of the fold. This way, turning it the other way around. So, and I would say very nice. Good. The next thing now is to staple them together. So take the cover, put the book right inside, perfectly centered, like so. Now I bought myself one of these long staplers here. That's about 20 bucks or so. And one can staple them like this, but I'm also going to show you a trick how you can use just a regular stapler. I'll do that in a moment. I'm going to do 2 staples here with a big stapler, and then I'll show you how you can actually staple them with a tiny stapler as well. If you buy a large stapler, make sure you get one that can handle maybe up to 50 sheets of paper. That would allow you to print a book with up to 200 pages. So let's try that out here. So we have it nicely lined up. Staple. And that worked out perfectly. Let's do the same one here. There. Staple exactly in the middle with a stapler like this here. Pop. And now I'm going to show you how to use a normal stapler like this here. So you use a carton like this here with a relatively sharp edge. Make sure that it's firmly positioned somewhere. And then you take your book like this here and you just push it against the carton, like so. Then you use your simple stapler, like this red one here, open it up, and you will see there's a tiny bit of a notch here between where the staple will fire. And so then you push that exactly so that the notch goes into where the crease is here, and just bang against it. Pop! And there is your staple in the page. Now in this case it didn't come quite through. That was a bad demonstration. Let's try it again. So, put this exactly like so. Let's see if this thing is nicely positioned. Pop! Okay, that worked nicely. So now we can see that the staple is kind of looking through. So we just have to use some plastic to shape the staple into the right shape. So you can just round that out here like so. Like this, flatten the staple into the paper. There you go. And you have your beautiful ebook. Now the next thing is you could run it through the crease one more time, sharpen that crease somewhat for the entire book, like this here. So. And then you can also put it into some sort of a press for a while so that it will look really nice and flat. But that is a pretty good book. So I love it. Very good. All with the stuff that you have at home.